welcome back to the, what am I on, episode 5 of the Spring Snowflake Podcast. My name's Sophie. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for coming along and watching me ramble for 35 to 50 minutes it seems to be every month at the moment, because it is, I don't even know what day it is, 23rd of June today, and the last time I podcast was the 18th of May. So we're aiming for a month. It really wasn't meant to be like that, but June has basically kicked me in the bum. I handed my notice in a while ago. I said it in the last podcast that I handed my notice in, and basically everyone's gone, oh crap, you're leaving! Do you want to do this? So not only am I having to do my own work, well, my normal work, but I'm also kind of having to try and fit things in on a 4 days a week job, which basically I'm doing I'm doing a full-time job in 4 days and trying to do everything else. Do you understand why I'm leaving now? Anyway, if you're a new viewer, trust me, I don't rant all the time, but welcome. I hope you like what you see. And today I am going to call this something along. Probably. I'll try and channel Mrs. What's-Her-Face from Father Ted. Instead of going, go on, I'll say, along. Because literally I am joining all the alongs. This episode is all about the alongs. So I literally have a list of all the alongs that I'm joining in at the moment. So, in order of when they finish, the Love Yourself Cal, which is the Cozy Crochet Cottage podcast's Cal, that is basically to make stuff for yourself. Because we as crafters always are making for other people, aren't we? So she decided that we needed to do something to kind of self-love. Yeah. The Cherry Heart Make-Along, which ends on the 30th of June, which is Sandra over at Cherry Heart. The Summer Top Cal, which is the Crochet Circle podcast. Summer Top Cal is pretty obvious. That ends on the 22nd of July. The J&A Rainbow Along, which is So Sweet Violet and Little Taylor S, Jules and Amy. I follow Jules, or rather I watch her podcast. They've got a Rainbow Along which started in the last couple of days and ends on the 31st of July. The SR Cal 18, which is the Summer of Romance Cal, which is Crochet Luna and Crochet Cakes Crochet Along, which I wasn't going to join, but I am now, which ends on the 13th of August. Stash Dash! Totally blame Amy from Stranded for me doing this. But that is the Knit Girls. I also blame her for getting onto the Knit Girls because they're brilliant. They're my new slight obsession on YouTube. So that's Stash Dash, and I'll link to as many as I possibly can, so that you know what is going on. It ends on the 27th of August. There's the Cal, KALCAL 18, which is run by the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, KCACY podcast. They have 2 brilliant hashtags, which is hashtag Team If I Sit I Knit and hashtag Team Crochet All Day. That's brilliant. So I'm doing that, and that ends on the 31st of August. That's a Knitters versus Crocheters along. And then the last one, which has literally just started, is the Crafternoon Treats, Crafternoon Finish Along 2018. And she did this last year, and actually I took part and it was awesome. And that ends on the 30th of September. That's my list. And I only actually have 6 projects to show you. I've got 3-ish. 2 finished objects plus a load of bags for my finished objects, and then 3 whips that I'm showing you, and that's it at the moment. But I'm hoping if I can be slightly monogamous and get things finished off, then actually I can get things like the stuff put into Cal and Stash Dash, and the finish along, because I'd be finishing things rather than masses of whips on at the same time. That's the aim anyway. So I'm double and triple and quadruple dipping in quite a few things. So much pressure. The eagle-eyed among you who have watched before will see that I've rearranged my blooming craft room again. That bookcase against that wall was not working for me. I wanted my futon back where it was, so that used to be here, so I put it on this wall, and we'll see if I like that. I quite like this wall being relatively clear. Don't know why. Anyway, well, now I've told you all about the alongs. Let's show you the FOs that are going into them. So, first things first, I don't have to show you. And this is actually 3 finished objects, but they all go to the same person, so I'm calling them one FO. So my little sister turned 20 in May, and she said, I'm going to be really boring, I'm going to ask for stuff for the kitchen. And I went, fine. She lives in a student house, she likes to have some nice stuff, she likes cooking. Okay, so I sent her some stuff that I bought, and I also made her some stuff. So I sent her some really funky measuring cups that I got on Amazon and a cook's measure. Now, if you've never heard of cook's measure, Google it, look it up on Amazon, because we have 2 and could not be without them. They give lots of measures for different types of food, so like rice and sugar and all that kind of stuff. And it's basically just an upside down cone measuring cup. I think it's originally American, because it's got American cups, UK cups, and millilitres in there. And I love it, and I bought her that as well. And then I made her, and I'll put some pictures. I never use cotton, and actually I want to get into using cotton because I want to start thinking about no plastic waste and no unnecessary waste in my household. So and as gifts and stuff, so I'm going to start making like crochet pot holders, knitted pot holders, rather than going out and buying oven gloves, because we don't need them. I can make them, or pot holders, or hot pads or whatever, and face cloths and washcloths and stuff like that. So I made her a 4-ply washcloth with my non-mercerised cotton I had. I had some remnants, and then I used some Aran cotton that I have. I'm going to get it out of here because it's easy. This is the Three Bears Affection Aran cotton, which I love, and it's non-mercerised, and it's just perfect for this kind of stuff. And I did a swap with a friend on Instagram a while back. Swap? Did I swap them? Or did I just buy them? Anyway, I got them off a friend on Instagram. So I used them. So I made her a corner-to-corner moss stitch washcloth, which I love that pattern. Love it. I love corner to corner. I think it's a genius way of crocheting, but the moss stitch I think is a far more sophisticated way of doing corner to corner. So that I'll put it here. Then I did a double. Yeah, it's kind of a double thickness pot holder, which was out of the Aran, which is crocheted. And then I knitted using a Skein Deer pattern, free pattern. I think it's called the Setter's Dowel pot holder. It's a colourwork cotton pot holder, and the original is in 4-ply. And I went, oh, I want to make something big, and this was massive. I'll put a picture. First foray into colourwork, I really liked it. A lot of people were like, you're insane, why are you doing colourwork first with cotton? But I thought, do you know what, I'm going to challenge myself. So definitely going to be doing colourwork again. I would knit continental, and I can't do the two-handed thing, my brain just doesn't work like that. So I watched an Arnie and Carlos video about kind of keeping good tension in colourwork and stuff. So, and actually what they said made a lot of sense. So I'll probably practice a bit more with that. But yeah, colourwork sweaters are in my future. So that was my first FO. My second FO was for me, which are these. These are the, oh, here we go, Soul Soothing Mitts, and this is a Sandra Cherry Heart pattern, and I'm going to put them on. Put one on. And her pattern calls for 4-ply, 2 strands held together, but I had some DK alpaca from a little box of crochet box. It was the baby box, actually. This stuff is the Easing Cottage Yarns. I think it's Melbourne. They're 100% alpacas, 100% baby alpaca. I've got 2, so I didn't have enough to do one solid colour, so I decided to stripe. And I really like them, they're really comfy, and they are going into the Cherry Heart Make Along, and they're also going into the Love Yourself Cal, because these are for me. Unless I decide at Christmas that I don't have enough. for presents and I give them away. But at the moment, they're for me. So they're going in there. So they're really easy. It's a really lovely pattern. It's paid for pattern by Sandra. I think, did I get them cheap when she first released them? I can't remember, but I got them when she first released them because they're just lovely. I made these at a point in, when did I finish them? Really early, actually. Let me get my notebook. I am using this and I'm loving it. So I finished them. Soul Soothing Mitts. Started them on the 3rd of June, right? Finished them on the 10th of June. So I basically didn't put them down. That was a couple of weeks after I'd handed my notice in and told everyone, and that was when it started to get a bit real and a bit stressful. We're also going into our summer ceremonies, which just... so I needed to not be thinking about anything I needed to be thinking. I just needed to have something soul-soothing, and they are very appropriately named, and I love them. So, yeah, that's another one of my FOs. I would highly recommend that pattern. It is a easy pattern repeat. It's got enough interest in the pattern repeat that it kept me going. Yeah, no, it's lovely. And that's going in Stash Dash as well. So I'm keeping a record, I don't know if you'll be able to see, of the weight and the amount and the meterage of yarn that I use in order that I can keep going with Stash Dash. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near like the 15 kilometres or whatever it is ridiculous that some people get in Stash Dash, but it's my first time. I'm going to start slow. Yeah, so the colourwork pot holder, and because of the times I finished them, colourwork pot holder and the Soul Soothing Mitts are going into Stash Dash for me so far. The mitts are going into the Love Yourself and the Cherry Heart Make Along. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, the other finished objects I have are bags. So I said this last time, Dodgy Bag Make Along opened a can of worms for me. I love it. I've really fallen back in love with my sewing machine. I'm loving picking out colour combinations, buying fat quarters. You'll see that there's some fabric in when I talk about incoming later. So yeah. So I showed you some of the couple of drawstring bags I'd finished at my last episode. The next one that I made, is it this one? Yeah, is this one, which you'll notice there's a button missing. What I did is I put poppers on the inside, sewed them on, and then on the other side put some buttons to mask the sewing. I don't like them very much. One of them's already fallen off and I've taken the corresponding button off, so I have bought some poppers, proper poppers that you have to like bang with a hammer on to do it. But I really like it. It's got, same as I had before, it's got a little pocket, it's got a tab. I actually sewed a handle on that one, and I love just the fabric is just beautiful. Look at that. That is a fat quarter bundle from Hobbycraft. Actually, most of these are fat quarters from Hobbycraft. And then the next ones I did, I challenged myself to make zipped bags. So, where is it? I started off with a little notions pouch with some of the scraps. Really badly fitted zip, but it was my first one and I wanted to just have a go. So that's a little notions pouch. Oh no, I did do another drawstring one. Another drawstring one with more of this space fabric that I think I didn't show you. Or maybe I did show you. But a space fabric fat quarter bag. This one again, this one doesn't have an interior pocket, but it does have a clip. And this at the moment is holding my yarn in waiting for my loft shawl, but it's got just a blue ribbon. I'm loving using my ribbon stash for that. So that one. The next one I made was again with the space fabric. I love this constellation one. And then the interior is even more awesome. Moon phases. This one has a pocket with that fabric. Literally no scrap left behind with this with these projects. And this was my first zip. I don't like the way it looks like a trapezoid. So I didn't do the bottom particularly well. I followed a pattern, but I kind of went a bit off piste with the pattern, and it didn't quite work. And I made a really thick wrist. What the hell are they? Handles! But I'm quite happy with the way I inserted the zip. It looks good. The top stitching is okay. But there are definitely things I would learn from that. In here I do also have another clip as well. So this one's got a pocket and a clip. And this is holding my hexagons, my Vicky Brown hexagons. So that's that one. I'm trying to be tidy as I podcast, because the last time I think I spent almost as long tidying up after the podcast as I did filming the podcast. So we're trying to be tidy and neat. Then I went more zips. So I bought a couple more zips and I made this one, which is holding a project that I will show you later, and I've got hair all over it. Again, I am so happy with the zip and the top stitching with there. Much better. This one I actually added a removable. And again, this is part of that same fat quarters with the birds. And this one, I like the dimensions of this one. Really like the dimensions of this one. This one again has got a pocket. And I remember to put my little Spring Snowflake label. So I'm going to keep that in the whips pile now. Then, massive one, which I really like the dimensions of it. I really like it. I'm keeping my experiments. I'm putting a little tag on them just to kind of work out the ratios, and actually if I do end up making more of these and kind of if I do end up selling them, I'm not saying I will, but if I do, then I'm keeping a record of kind of how big they were in the fabric and the ratios of height to width. This one I did, and I haven't quite finished it yet because the zip tab is eluding me. This one I made with a over long zip so that it actually will kind of stay open quite a lot. Again, little pocket with my thingy. So I'm quite happy with this one. It is big. This is definitely sweater sized. But interestingly, I measured it against my thingy, Knit It, Hook It, Craft It bag, and it's about the same size, and Faye calls this medium. So to me that's massive. So I tried to think how big a large one would be, but we'll see. Okay, so that's that one, and it's empty at the moment. I'm putting it back in the to sew. Oh, that's catching on the thingy. I might have to sort the top stitching out on that. But again, removable handle, boxed bottom. I like it. It's got a bit of thread on it. So yeah, so that's that one. And then this week I have been using the rest of the space fabric, what's left. And again, I love this space. I'm going to go back to Hobbycraft and get more. And this is holding a project as well. So this is slightly different style of drawstring. So it hasn't got the kind of excess fabric at the top. So you've got casing for your ribbon. And this, I cut out the solar system panels too small, and then went, oh no, I need more length, and then, oh no, I've got too much length, I need to add more on the sides, and I didn't add enough on the sides, so it's quite long and thin. And I've added my little Babushka doll pin on there as well. So yes, this one doesn't have a pocket, but it does have my my label on it, which is why it's got the notions pouch in it, so that I can keep my scissors and needle and stuff like that in there. So that is going in the whip pile because that's holding a whip. Okay, those are my finished bags. So you can see I've been slightly obsessed. I've got a couple already cut out. I'm going to be making this, which is the triangle totes by, oh god, Shiny Happy World. This one is tiny, so I don't know if I will actually make that one, but these ones I've got the fabric cut out and ready to go. So we'll see. And then I've got another one with this fabric to go as well, a much smaller one. And then I've got more fabric, which I'll show you later. So yes, that is my finished objects, which I feel like I've raced through, but I don't think I have. No, 20 minutes. Anyway, so let's talk about my whips. I've been fairly monogamous, up until Wednesday. So I have one knitting and one crochet on the go, and then I added another crochet on Wednesday because a mystery crochet along started, which I'll talk about first. So the Skimming Stones MCal mystery crochet along started on Wednesday, the 20th of June, 20th of June, which is run by the Crochet Project. It's their first ever mystery crochet along, and it is a shawl. And they were they were sending out directions about yarn. Eden Cottage Yarns have done the official yarn packs, but Vicky was doing some packs. Mermaid's Purse was doing some packs, all sorts of different people. So I decided I wanted to stash dive because I've got a lot of yarn that doesn't have a home, a project. So I decided that I was going to stash dive, and then I won some yarn. So I won, let's try not to unravel my project, this yarn, which will totally blow out the camera, which is Unbelievable, love her name. She did a exclusive colourway for Woolin, which was the yarn festival that happened in Dublin about a month ago. It was my birthday weekend. And this is called Emerald Isle, and it's beautiful. So I won that. She had one skein left after the weekend. And I went, right, that's my main colour. I want to use it quickly. It's the same yarn composition as the Eden Cottage hand-dyed packs, single ply merino. So it's 100% merino this. And I loved it. So I was like, right, I need to find some yarn that goes with it. And I finally decided that I was going to pair it with my oak dyed yarn from Traver and Wool, which I bought at Unravel. So that I was like, right, those two are that's one of my contrasts. Now, the sample shawl, the one it's a Joanne's Grace pattern. The sample is one main colour, one hank of 100 grams of yarn, 4-ply yarn, and 4 minis, at least 20 grams each. Is that right? Yeah, it's 4 minutes. It's four contrasting colours. Because this was 100 gram skein, I decided that actually all I needed was one other contrast, and Joanne did write a whole blog post about choosing colours, and if you only wanted two contrasting, then you'd basically use them as your BD and then CE colours. I'll link to that post if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So I couldn't find anything else that kind of went with that I was happy with. So I went to Bath. Bath is it's an hour's drive. It's about hour and 45 minutes on public transport, mainly because the bus from my town to the nearest mainline train station is not direct and takes about an hour. But from Didcot to Bath, it's about 50 minutes on the train. So I was like, right, I've got a week off. I'm going to go and do a crafty pilgrimage to Bath. And on that time, I am going to go to the 2 yarn shops in Bath, proper yarn shops in Bath, which is Wool Bath and a Yarn Story. Wool Bath, I went in, didn't really see anything that fit the bill, went to Yarn Story, had an awesome time chatting to the lady there, and she was just so friendly and so knowledgeable. And they had a lot of single ply merinos, because this one's single ply merino as well. And I actually bought 2 skeins, but the skein I bought to use on this cal is this one. This is by Ush Tita, who, according to the lady, is now like the yarn dyer of choice for Stephen West. I love this. It's called Wild Honey, so it's mostly this kind of honey colour, but with these pops of blue and purple, and it's just like wild flowers, which is lovely. And this is Clue 1. Now, I wasn't going to take part in the Summer of Romance Cal, which is Crochet Luna and Crochet Luna and Crochet Cakes. They've done it. This is the second year running that they've done this. But their theme is bad boys and bad girls that we love. And I looked at this one. Once this was done, I looked at it and went, that's Gamora and Peter. That's Guardians of the Galaxy. So I am entering this for the Summer of Romance Cal as Gamora, because she is a bad girl that we love. And the Wild Honey and the Oak is a bit of a nod to Peter and their love story. I'm such a nerd. Last time, I told you I've seen Infinity War, and I'm still stressed about that film. I'll be stressed until the it's not the next one, because it's not another Avengers film. They finished the Avengers franchise, but until the kind of next Marvel film comes out that's linked to it, I'll be stressed until I see that, I think. But yes, that's Clue 1. I'm very happy with it. It's not really showing true to colours. The green is a lot darker, but very happy. I don't like surprises, but I trust Joanne and Kat of the Crochet Project, because I know they do beautiful designs. So that's going back in the bag. And what's lovely about this bag is, even though it's long and thin, I can fit 2 of these cakes at the bottom, and the main colour will go in at the top, along with the project, and it all fits very nicely. So there you go. That is my Skimming Stones MCAL. So, I'm going to put that away, because we're being tidy. We're being tidy. And also, it's really nice to see my desk emptying. So, the thing that I have been incredibly monogamous with, and I am so happy with this, is my Picking Flowers sweater. Now, I am trying to finish this. I am trying to finish this by the end of June so that I can put it in for Love Yourself. But if I don't, it is being done because of the Summer Tops cowl. So, last time I showed this to you, which was in episode 1, I was about there with the body, and you can see how much more I've done. And I hadn't got a sleeve. I have a full sleeve, and I have another almost half of a sleeve. So, because the body is basically just going round and round and round and round in the stitch pattern, and there's, including the chain spaces, there's over 300 stitches in each round. I went, I need to start something else. I need to. So instead of getting distracted by another project, I went, I'm just going to start the sleeves. So I started the sleeves. This is covered in stitch markers. So this stitch marker is showing me when the repeats started to get the length of the body. This is showing me the start of the round. This is holding my stitch. And then on the sleeve, this is holding my stitch. This I got recently. I'm just going to show you because otherwise I'll forget to show you. This is an ice cream cone stitch marker. Isn't that cute? And then this is showing me where I last decreased the sleeve. So it jangles a lot, this thing, but I love it. I'm really happy with it. I will not be able to wear it once I've finished it because we're about to enter a heat wave in the UK. Apparently it's going to get up to 31 degrees next week, which I'm not looking forward to because our aircon in our car is not working right now. Anyway, waiting for Ford to fix it. Anyway, so that is what I've basically been trying to finish. I want to finish it by the 30th of June, and I hope I will. And it is living in another one of her me-made project bags. This one, I think this is my favourite one so far, actually. It's quite wide and narrow, but actually it's fitting my sweater very well. I like it a lot. So that's that one. There. Okay, the other project is a knitting project, and I've started some socks! So I decided to start with cheap sock yarn, just because this is an experiment, and if it doesn't go well and I never wear them, then it's no harm, no foul. I decided, because I know myself, and I would totally have second sock syndrome, that I would actually try 2 different methods of sock knitting so that I was making 2 socks at the same time. So this is the yarn, and these are the socks. This is the Head Over Heels by Stylecraft, their sock yarn, and this is the Matterhorn colourway. So you've got 6 colours in there. So this, I am going to be entering the rainbow along, because there are at least 5 colours. It is, when the rainbow along started, they were less than 50% done. It's also going to Stash Dash. Everything's going into Stash Dash basically now. It'll go into Cal Cal, so I'll be in Team If I Sit I Knit for that. It won't be done by the end of June, so it won't go into Love Yourself. Yeah, so that's quite a lot of... Is that quadruple different? Wait a minute. Stash Dash, Cal Cal, Rainbow Along, Finish Along, and Yarngasm Podcast's Box of Socks. 5! I'm quintuple dipping. Oh my god. That's a bit ridiculous. Anyway, I've got 2 pairs of socks on the go. There's a pair that I'm doing on short circulars, so 9-inch circulars, and a pair that I'm doing magic loop. And at the end, I think I will write a blog post about my feelings about the 2 different methods. The one thing I'm really not liking, so this is the start of the ball, and this is the middle of the ball. So I had 90 grams because I sent 10 grams to a friend. So I wound up to the colour change point. So it starts at green. So I wound up to that into one ball and then carried on winding into another one. So I could do the two concurrently. But this is the middle, and it's got loads of discoloration. This side I think is worse. Can you see that? Whereas this, it's got some discoloration in the middle of the stripes, but actually not that much. So I'm not particularly impressed with they keep the outside looking nice, and then you get to the middle of the ball. Look at, where was it? The yellow is just so mucky. It's not particularly impressive. But anyway, so yes, this, I'm using for both of them, the Winwick Mum Sock Along basic socks pattern. She did, ages ago, a sock along which took you on the various different stages. She has a main pattern which I've printed off, but then she also has a blog post for each different stage, which is really good. So I'm going to go and I've done the length. I haven't quite done as long as she says to do. She says 72 rows and I've done 66, but I've got to the end of the second colour repeat and I kind of just want to get on with it. I cast on 72 stitches because my gauge is tight. I am a tight knitter. So I got the pattern, or rather the yarn says 7 stitches per inch and I got 9 stitches per inch. Yeah, so I'm on 2.75 needles at 72 stitches, and these for my feet. So when I start making for my husband, I'll have loads of stitches. So we'll see. I'm really enjoying it. It's been really interesting talking to people about their views on what method, short circulars or magic loop. I don't particularly want to entertain DPNs because this is small enough to be this is an All Kylie wash bag for Target. I'm on the go. I craft on the go a lot. Like my jumper is my stay-at-home, sweater. Picking flower sweater is my stay-at-home now because it's just too big to take to work with me. Although I have been known to do it this week. So this has to come with me, and so many people say, "Oh, you lose DPNs on the bus." And I will. I've managed to leave coats on the bus before. Like, umbrellas, fine, whatever. Coats. I've managed to lose coats. So a DPN will be really easy to lose. So I'm not even going to entertain double-pointed needles for socks. So I'm just going to use those 2 methods, see which one I like the best. To be honest, I think they both have their merits and also their failings, but I'll write a blog post about it. So those are my current whips. My knitting whip, my crochet whip, and my MPAL, which I am determined I'm going to stay up to date with it. So they're releasing a clue every week for the next 5 weeks. And I've done clue 1 and I did it on the day. What's brilliant is they're releasing them on a Wednesday, which is my day off. So, although in July I don't I work on Wednesdays as well. I work 6-day weeks for 3 weeks in July because work is insane. So, next, I'm going to tell you about incoming, but I'm also going to tell you about the things that I want to do after I do those, because it's a month between podcasts, and I want to tell you what I want to do. So, I'm going to show you what's in here first. If I get my Picking Flower sweater done by the 13th of June, that means I have 22 days to do something else for Summer Top. So I am going to do the confetti top by Iron Lamb, and it was a free pattern that she released on the Hobbycraft blog, which uses a cotton acrylic yarn, and that yarn, I think it's I can't remember, that yarn's been discontinued now, so they're also suggesting using Hobbycraft cotton blend DK, but I thought a DK yarn, cotton blend, I'm going to use my King Cole bamboo cotton, which I love. This bamboo cotton, you know, I've used it in my Spotting Clouds top, the 4-ply version of it, and this is the DK version that I used for my mum's Sunday shawl, my second version of the Sunday shawl. So I've got yarn remnants left over, and this top calls for about 400 grams of yarn, and I have 400 grams of yarn in my bamboo cotton in different colours. So I have the purple, I have the blue, I have quite a lot of red. In fact, I have like 1.5 skeins of red. I have the like kingfisher type colour, I'm calling that. I have a kind of jade colour. Ooh. More red. Put that next to the red. And like a magenta. Ooh. Oh, here we go. So let's discard that one. So those are my colours. So yeah, I haven't decided whether I'm going to kind of do a pseudo gradient or rainbow, or whether I'm going to mix them up a bit. But those are going to be a confetti top that I will try and make before the end of the Summer Top Cal, and they're living in my Knit It Hook It bag, which I love. So they are ready to go. Putting that down on the floor because that's opening a drawer and stuff. So that's my next one, I think. The other one that I wanted to tell you about is linked to actually something that I bought in Bath. So I went to, I'm going to forget the name of the shop, Country Threads in Bath, which is a fabric store, tiny little thing, but it goes back a long way, which is down the same road as Woolbath. And I bought lots of fat quarters. So I will show you the fat quarters. This one immediately took my eye. How beautiful is that? Then this one, which has got some gold in it. I love the geometrics of that. That screams a pattern to me, a crochet pattern. So that might end up being in something. Stars, rainbow stars, because why wouldn't you? Then this is all wrapped up, but it's like country animals. Oh, foxes and raccoons and squirrels and birds. And that's slightly bigger than a fat quarter, so that might be made into a top for my little girl. And then I've had an idea in my head, again for the Summer Top Cal, of doing a crochet yoke top with a fabric base. So basically kind of up to there and then fabric. And I saw one on Instagram, not Instagram, on Ravelry, which kind of, And I went, well actually, you could totally do that yourself, Sophie. So I'm going to start small and make a little top for my little girl. But I found this fabric, which has got little honeybees on it. Again in Country Threads. So I'm going to do, and it's probably going to take me some time to work out what I'm doing, but I'm going to do like a honey, you know, with the Hotel of Bees shawl that I did, she did some filet crochet honeycomb pattern. So I'm going to do that as a crochet yoke and then add it to the bees for her, out of cotton. It will probably be, if I can make this stretch, which I probably won't be able to, but if I can make that stretch or make it stretch with some white, then that, I think, would be a lovely top. What do you think? Might work quite well, wouldn't it? Anyway, so that's an idea. I don't think I'll get it done for the summer top cowl, but it's an idea that I have in my brain, that I want to make crochet yoke fabric and combine the two loves of sewing and crochet. So, so that's the other thing that I'm kind of thinking about doing. I think that's it. Those two are the kind of the main things. I have got a knitting pattern which I bought called the Rainbow Relay Shawl, and I'll pop a photo. In fact, she's done like 4 different options, so if I can try and put like all 4. But it's a really clever shawl, knitted shawl, with short rows and using minis and all sorts of stuff. So I definitely want to have a go at that. But that's probably an autumn project. I want to get summer out of the way first. So, last but by no means least, actually no, there's one more thing after I talk about incoming, but I'm going to tell you about incoming as well. So, when I went to Bath, and this is kind of in the wrong order chronologically, I went to a yarn story. I bought that skein of Ushtita. I also bought a skein of Bien Ami. And this was merino singles as well, and I actually didn't buy this with the intent, and it was so beautifully skeined up, and I haven't been able to wrap it as well again. I don't know why. But this is called Winter Garden. And it's basically just a base of white, but with lots of different colour speckles. And it's beautiful, and I'm going to make it into something equally beautiful. But I don't know what yet. And it's just beautiful. And I've wanted a Bien Ami skein of yarn forever. And they had them at a yarn story. Honestly, go to a yarn story. If you're ever in Bath, walk up the hill from the main kind of... It's a walk. It's about a 15-20 minute walk from the baths and the Abbey. But it's so worth it. And they're lovely in there. They're really lovely in there. So that was what I bought. I also bought... I've done a little bit of online yarn buying. So I bought some mini skeins from Mothy and Squid. Let's get the labels out of the way. I mainly bought it for this skein. This skein is called Sea Glass, and she posted it up on her Instagram. She's very good on Instagram. She gets you in. I saw it and went... It immediately made me think of Janine from J9's Happiness on Instagram, and I had to buy it. So I bought 2 skeins, and one went to her, because sea glass, and you just think of Janine when you see the word sea glass. So I bought that one, and then I couldn't help myself, and I got a couple of others. So this is called Blue Raspberry, and it reminds her of the sweets. And then this one is called Stony Shore. It's just a lovely mix of grey and blue. So yeah, I bought those. No idea what they'll do with them, but they'll go in my mini stash, and we'll do with that. And then I did a Wool Warehouse order, and I bought some yarn in their drops sale. So I bought some drops Fable, and the cream is to... I got really annoyed about these. So I've got 4 colours. The cream is to go around my hexies, my Yarn Advent hexies. This turquoise my husband picked out himself because he wants me to make some socks out of them. And then I bought these 2 different colourways for socks. What's really annoying is they smell of rotting grass, basically, because my postman decided to put them in my brown bin. And he put them on top of almost a full brown bin worth of garden clippings. Now, I have a gardener. I'm very lucky, because I'm not green-fingered at all. I pay someone to come and do my garden. And Rob had been twice between the times that the bin was collected. So there was 2 weeks worth of grass in there, and they just put it in there, and then they didn't leave a card. So when I because Wool Warehouse are very good, I usually get things within 48 hours of ordering. And when it got to about 72 hours, I went, that's a bit weird. I went looking for a card, didn't find one, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to look in all the bins. And Wool Warehouse send in plastic wrapping, but it's not totally sealed. So I think the smell got into them. So I don't know whether I should wash the skeins as they are, like put them into one of those bags, a wool warehouse bag to be honest, to try and get rid of the smell, or whether I wash them after I've made them into something. It's not a nice grass smell. So, anyway, that's those. So, my amazing mother-in-law, who is the biggest enabler, went to Scotland. She went to very, very high up in Scotland, to the islands, and she went to Orkney, and sent me a photo of a yarn shop and went, "Do you want anything?" I went, "Yes, please." Zoomed in a bit, had a look and went, "Oh, I really think those ones with the pictures are really cool." So, these are the first ones. This is Orkney Shepherdess wool, and they have pictures of the sheep and their names. Your wool was grown by. So, they're DK weight, they're very woolly. Although actually, no, there is a bit of an itch factor there. They'll probably end up being colour work mittens, to be honest, because I think they'll be really cool as colour work mittens. And then she bought me some Aran, Isle of Orskeri North Ronaldsay wool, which is, as it says, by seaweed eating sheep. So that's the yarn. Again, very woolly. This is 3-ply, and actually, I think it's about the same thickness, so I think I could probably get away with using these all together. Because three colour work mittens might actually be quite cool with those. But yeah, so my mother-in-law is awesome and she enables me and I love it. Right, non-yarny stuff that came in. I was a very lucky girl this month, and I won some stuff. So I won a prize out of the Great Yarn giveaway, which was Josie Kitten for British Heart Foundation. And I won some, let's see if I can get them both together, stitch markers, which are made by silversmiths. Now, this one is a tiny foot. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. I've got 2 of these. One of them's on one of my socks. It's a tiny little foot. So they're really cute, and they are made by these guys, McMaster and Tingley. So that's their details. So that's really cute. I then also won through the Flower Power Fund. So if you don't know about the Flower Power Fund, I'll put a link down below. They are raising money for Marie Curie, I think, all of this year. And there's lots of yarn dyers and bag makers and stuff who are all involved. And these guys, and I am not going to try and pronounce this name, offered some stitch markers. And there were 5 different types of stitch markers. And these are massive, so I don't know when I'm going to use them, but I got, there we go, a tin of 5 of these. I love the tin as well. I'm not a cat person. I think I'm massively in the minority when it comes to loving of cats in the yarn world. It seems that that's kind of a rule. That if you are a wool person, you must love cats. Unfortunately, I don't, because they don't like me. I am massively allergic. So yeah, I'm not. But I appreciate it when you have cartoon cats. So yeah, that's the non-yarny stuff that's coming in. I think that's it. Yeah. So, lastly, and thank you for those who've stuck around till the end. I will be posting this on my Instagram as soon as this goes live, but I am finally ready, and it is me having to be ready to raffle off my grandmother's blanket. So, those of you who've been with me for a while know about this. This is my Granny E's Frugal Sunburst blanket, and I made it in collaboration with a lot of other people who get sent me squares in her memory, and in order to raffle off for 2 charities, the Alzheimer's Society, because my grandmother died of dementia, or complications linked to dementia, and she also has a chosen charity that were remembered in her will, which is the Smallwood Trust. Now, last time I talked about this, which I think was episode 2, I mentioned that I was really quite concerned about the legality of online raffles, and I've done a bit more research, and I've spoken to people who've done it as themselves through Just Giving, and actually Just Giving seems to be the more legit way of doing it. And there's a couple of things that you have to remember to do if you're doing an online raffle, and one of them is that you shouldn't ask people to gift aid because they are parting with money for a service or for an offer. So that's been really interesting to find that out. But I'm really glad I actually made the effort of working out and looking at and doing the research, because however much eBay looked like the right thing to do, I don't think I would make as much money. So we are raffling it. I am going to be setting up a Just Giving page which will send the money to 2 places, so it won't be is fundraising in for this charity. It'll be is fundraising, and then I'll have some information down below on what I'm going to be doing with the money. So it will be going 50-50 to Alzheimer's Society and to the Smallwood Trust. And it will be open from the point of this podcast going live to the 9th of August. The reason why I've chosen the 9th of August because that's the day that my granny died last year. And I want to be able to go and visit her and tell her how much money I've raised and make it a slightly nicer experience. So I'll be going to see her. But I want to be able to make it a bit of a happy occasion. So yeah, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get my act together and get it up and onto Just Giving, but I hope you understand that it's taken me a little while to process, and I don't particularly want to let it go. I will let it go, but there's a lot of love that's been put into that blanket, and there's a lot of memories that's been put into that blanket, and yeah, I hope she's proud of it. I hope she's happy. Anyway, so yes, so I will put a link below, and I will also put a link on my show notes, and I will also I will also put it live on my Instagram as well, so that as many people can see it and as many people can buy a ticket. So the tickets will be £2 each, and so it'll be a 50-50 split between the Alzheimer's Society and the Smallwood Trust. I'll put links about those 2 charities down in my show notes as well. And I'm really hoping we can raise quite a lot of money. I'll put a lot of information about the blanket. I'll get it out again on the Just Giving page. But essentially, it is a lap blanket. I'll put the dimensions on there as well. It is a good sized lap blanket. It is 100% acrylic yarn, and so machine washable and all that jazz. And there's been a lot of love and a lot of everyone's stash put into this. And that was the point. The point was that it was a stash busting project. It was showing what you could make from your leftovers, and that's what she was all about. She was all about being frugal. She was all about saving her money on for things that mattered, for using up what she had, for making do amend, and this represents that. So I really, really hope you enter the raffle. Buy as many raffle tickets as you want. Obviously, the more raffle tickets you buy, the more £2 multiples of 2 that you buy, the more entries you have. Please do make sure you put your you tick to say that you're happy for me to contact you, because otherwise I can't pick you, or put your Instagram name. I think that's probably the 2 options. So either tick the box to say you're happy for me to contact you, or put your Instagram handle on there, and I've got 2 ways of contacting you if you do win. So thank you very much in advance if you do enter, and good luck. And that's it for me for this time. I've talked a lot, which I always do. And I always have to edit out ums and and so's. Because, do you know what? It takes out about 10 minutes when I edit those out. It shows how much I use vocal cues or vocal stoppers. Anyway, I will see you next time. It'll probably be about, to be honest, it'll probably be over a month, because I've got 14 ceremonies to get through in July. So yeah, I will see you very soon. Bye. I don't know if this is too bright. I might have to... So I have these notes and these notes. And my desk. Yeah. Okay. So. I look like I don't actually have anything on. That's hilarious. This green really doesn't go with this peach, but never mind. That's a beautiful face, Sophie. You look gorgeous.